Hey all, it's Kirk and Terrence. We're waiting for Mark Ussery. I'm going to shut this down and you guys will need to see our bald heads until we get going. I indicated on the note that we might have Terrence watch some NFL film with us of the Monday night game. We'll see if we can get that uploaded here, and we'll see you in a second.
Live.
You keep talking. Old. B. Better.
Start seeing it up there.
And we're muted right now, right?
We're on right now.
We're not muted.
We're not muted.
Hi, guys.
Let's see if I've got to see if it's all working here. Okay, so I think we're live. Let's see if we've got anybody on here. So it looks like somebody saw us frozen on the screen. We should start hearing us. Looks like that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to double check.
It's about a 12-second delay.
Is it?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can you hear on there? You can hear?
I can't hear anything on that. Is that muted? Let me make sure that's not muted.
Oh.
Hey Hickey, can you confirm that you can hear us? Is that muted?
It's a 12-second delay.
So this is the speaker.
I want to make sure.
Hickey, can you confirm that you can hear us?
Hear and see. All right, we're good. I want to make sure.
We should turn that volume down.
You want to turn that off now? Do we need that or no?
I think that's got to be muted because that's going to start echoing or circulating
that's
around.
fine.
So, Hickey, since I've got you on there,
You hear now? You hear? Can you hear him? You can hear him,
yeah,
right?
I can hear what's going on there.
I got it.
Actually, we can. Ussery, say hi.
Good evening. How are we doing?
So we're gonna watch a little bit of this NFL game. We're at a commercial right now, and again, there could be a little bit of lag in the.
Live TV that you're watching and what you're seeing on the conference. 12 seconds about.
I was gonna have Terrence watch the NFL game with us last night when I was scrambling trying to get the film to work on the internet. Ussery and Terrence were just talking about the different plays on television, and I wanted to make sure anybody online had a chance to listen to Terrence talk about his experiences and what he sees on the field. Same kind of stuff we see, only 80,000 people watching instead of sometimes half dozen, depending on the field we're at.
We're good? How's everybody doing? It's almost halftime. We got a minute 50 left here. Let's see what we got going on here. I think this was a great wind by the linesman here
Oh,
as that forward progress gets stopped in bounds and we wind it. So
You're right. Yeah.
oh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm trying to learn all these cameras. These guys are too high tech and fancy for me, you know?
I think ABC's going to hire us here pretty soon.
Absolutely.
This is big time.
Absolutely. No, but that previous play, I thought it was a good whine by our line of scrimmage guy. Whenever a guy gets hit and driven back, like he did on that play, we always want to whine that from a line of scrimmage standpoint. So,
what does that tell your crew?
clock, he's inbounds. You know, it tells the guys upstairs that are with the clock to keep it winding. So now I'm just thinking right now to myself, it's 2nd and 12. I mean, under 2 minutes. Obviously, the line of the game is the 4-yard line, but they're going to be firing deep in there. That's a clean play. We're, a couple yards short? So now, 3rd and 2, they can still get a first down. And I'm thinking to myself right now, you know, offense has, 1 timeout left? Did they just call a timeout? We can't hear the audio. But it looks like Cincinnati just called a timeout. So the Steelers are going to come back in 3rd and 2, and they got an extra timeout. So we know if they stay in bounds and get that first down, you got to be looking for them to be calling the timeout right away. I would think 3rd and 2, they just want to get the first down here. They're not going to take a shot into the end zone until they get this first down where it's 1st and goal. So let's see what they kind of run here. And that, I mean, these are the kind of things you should be thinking about when you're out there on the field. You know they got a timeout that they can take. And like I said, they just want to get the first down right now. I would assume there's going to be some type of run. So now they got to call timeout, right? At some point.
Oh, they're out of them.
Pittsburgh still has a timeout.
Oh.
So they'll probably let this run down because they don't want Cincinnati to get the ball. So they'll run it down. It's 4th. So they're probably going to kick a field goal now since they're already down there. What's that? How are we looking?
No, the delay seems to be growing.
Does that matter though?
No, I think it's just we have to be aware that what they're seeing here is
Okay.
20, 30-second delay. One of the things that was interesting talking to Terrence the other day was my question to him was how does the NFL officials slow the game down? Because obviously the speed of the game is exponential compared to high school football. And we were talking through, and the foundational answer from Terrence was preparation and pre-snap knowledge. That if you can anticipate what might happen, and I think that happens throughout the play. It's not just pre-snap, it's situational awareness as the play develops, thinking what could possibly happen, and that allows you to kind of predetermine what you're going to see. Which is
I think it's just a progression. You just think, what's my next threat? That's what I like to tell myself. So you clear one threat, that block is cleared, and you just start looking ahead. Hey, what's my other potential threat here? And so I think that's a way that I and all of us officiate a play is what's our nearest threat or what's our possible, as Kurt was saying, what could possibly happen on this play? So now we got field goal, it's good. I mean, now we got kickoff now. Nobody has any timeouts. Only 58 seconds left. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going through our head. Oh, actually, this is my game yesterday. Oh, I called a foul on that play, actually.
Did you have this one?
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
You got it ducked twice, man.
That's your flag coming in on this?
Did you have 2 flags?
Yeah, we had 3, actually, believe it or not.
Did he get ejected for that?
He's out for the whole entire season.
What?
Yeah. He got suspended for the season.
You guys didn't suspend him for the season, but the
NFL did.
The NFL came in after you, and
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he's out for the entire season. That's John Perry. He's in the booth now. That's the guy I worked the Super Bowl with. Just this Super Bowl 53. So he's kind of talking right now.
Oh, the one in the middle?
Yeah, the one in the middle. Sorry. Yeah, the guy in the middle. That's John Perry. What is that?
And that's what you're doing, about that play that
Oh,
we're
okay.
showing.
Okay, yeah.
That might be a delay issue. You reading that, Usher?
So let's see what we have here. Boom, kickoff. They're not bringing it out. They're probably just going to kneel on the ball. Let's see what happens. That was a playoff game right there where that Vontez Burfict, another helmet shot. That's actually John Perry right there working that game. So
is he retired now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's retired. He came off the field.
Usually don't go up to the booth curtain.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
They're going to run some plays.
Terrence is in our booth here.
Right?
He's still on the field. How lucky are we, gentlemen?
Catch. Hurry up. 50 seconds. Tick,
No,
tick.
no
tick,
kneel.
tick.
No kneel.
Let's see. We got doubles. We know they're going to throw the ball, right? So, boom. Come out. Doubles. Uh-oh. Sack. That's probably going to be it for halftime.
Man, do you see how fast that official set the ball and got out of there on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, let's get sixth
Backpedal.
official. We need to get it.
What's his?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We
you
still
did-
got one
Run
more.
another play.
Ready to go for it.
What's our formation here? Trips on the to the left?
Top side. No, we're not doing anything with that.
So that's probably going to do it for the half.
Why do you run that play?
Who knows? Boom. Halftime.
All right.
Nice.
We're ready to start some high school football review. All right,
So what are we talking about tonight?
So we thought we would talk holding tonight, and one of the, we could talk about holding every time we get together. I think there's so much opportunity to get better when we're dealing with holding, and so, sorry, Usry's telling me what to do here.
There we go.
Was this that first play on the list?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mark and I have talked on numerous occasions, and the other day I think what really started this whole conversation about Terrence helping us out and looking at film with us was probably dealing with some holding calls and looking for those indicators to make us better when we deal with holding. And so we've done a little bit of homework, probably nowhere near enough to perfect this presentation, but we've got 15 minutes here. We're going to unload what we are thinking about different plays. Go ahead.
I want to say one thing before we get started. First of all, thank you guys for joining us. We're going to keep doing this. We're very excited. Number two, for those of you that came in and gave us feedback to help make this better, thank you. We still want more of that feedback. That's really good. So, the topic we're going to focus on, like Kirk said, is we're going to look at some potential holdings. How can we make our holding calls better in the game? So with that, let's look at this first play.
So we're talking about holding from an interior line standpoint right now, right?
There's a lot of places on the field we could talk about holding. We wanted to isolate the line of scrimmage or in the vicinity where we've got running play. I think there's going to be a future conversation about maybe a pass interference / defensive holding conversation that I think Terrence is going to give us a whole bunch of insight from his position in the NFL. So this is a focus at the line of scrimmage.
So let's talk about philosophies on holding first,
Okay.
right? So when we have holding interior, that's a little more forgiving than if it's on the edge going outside. That's one of the things we want to look at. And the other thing is let's make sure we're slow on our flags before we throw to see the entire play. We may see it pop out as a holding, but as the play develops, we may want to stay off that holding penalty. Remember, guys, our goal is to have good quality flags, not to have a flag.
So you're saying just kind of take a deep breath, let the play develop,
Right.
and then see if that's a...
Don't get excited when you see something, but let's get excited when there is something.
I think a key to that statement is get the number of the that stayed on there. Get the number and then hang on to your flag until you know that hold or that restriction was big enough. So here you can see on the screen we're targeting or focused on this offensive lineman pulling We'll see him pull down the line of scrimmage. And the comment here is focusing on whether or not this is a hold.
What's the first thing we noticed on this play? I mean, what kind of jumps out from our standpoint? Because I think when we talk about holding, I like to think about body position. And Mark had mentioned this, a great point earlier, is offensive holding. Guys do that when they're beat and they're out of position. From a defensive standpoint, it's a scheme. It's something that really happens kind of immediately at the line of scrimmage. But speaking on offensive holding, I like to think body position first. So when I'm looking at this play, I think this pulling left guard comes out and boom, right there, he's got good position if that running back runs off his butt, which is what he does. But let's just take it a step further. Stop it right there. If that running back happened to come to the outside over here, then automatically right away we can tell that offensive lineman has bad body position. So our antennas really need to go up for a restriction standpoint. But in my opinion, I don't think that's a foul. A, because the body position was good. Yeah, he has his hand on his back or whatever, but I don't see any visible material restriction at all in my standpoint. And I want the defender to show me a more effort of trying to make a play on there. I don't think he gets held.
Let's look where the runner is going. Okay, so the runner cuts back to the inside. So really that's a good blocking position versus a holding position. If that runner would have gone out, then we have something totally different.
Yeah.
And that's because why?
Because his position's now bad.
Because bad body position.
Bad body position.
Okay.
So ignore that little comment. We don't agree with the comment that this is a hold and that the referee should get it. Even though it looks like that hand is there, we think the body position of the blocker is such that we leave this one alone.
And we said in the very beginning of this, we just kind of want to slow down. I mean, just because we see those hands and that hand placement, possible indicator for a hold, but let's let the play develop and see what happens, then throw your flag. So I just always tell myself, just take a deep breath and kind of let the play develop.
All right, we're going to see another play. I think this one, we didn't agree with that we should include this one. The message that I'd like to convey with this, and you're going to see it bigger.
That's the same play. Without the comments.
It is?
Yep, there's a comment on this one. Same play. You gotta jump to the next play.
Oh, that's
this is
that. Isn't that the hold downfield?
Yeah.
So the message here, and we'll see a circle up here. You can see where the offensive player is now engaged in the defensive player. So offense in white, defense in black, and you'll see, no doubt, a hold. But look where the end of the run. It was back at the line of scrimmage. We want to leave this one alone. Yes, the coach is going to say they're holding us. And we need to then indicate that we're going to get that when it's at the point of attack. I'm going to go back and show you this on the sideline view. So this will be the same thing. I think you'll see it behind or right near the umpire.
At the 35-yard line?
Yeah.
And rewind it just a little bit so they can see.
And I think, Terrence, your comment here was if this player breaks it free, now we got a problem.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden we've got a guy on the ground that was held and a guy's running for 6.
Correct.
You agree that now we're going to flag that one. So I think Usry's common statement is slow to throw, and this is a key moment that I think we can slow that flag down. We see it, might even make mention to it, and it might be preventive officiating.
And let the play develop. We've been preaching that kind of all night here, right? Just kind of let the play develop, take a deep breath, see what happens as far as with the play development. So this is our next play here. What do we have here?
So, Mark, I'm going to let you talk through this one.
So I'm kind of calling this play the dance. So we're going to look at this this right side here. And so I'm saying the dance begins. If you can look in real tight there, we got 2 players engaged in dancing. So they're still dancing a little bit. Nothing's going on. Now the offensive lineman, instead of being the leader of the dance, is a follower. Okay, so Now his head's behind his shoulders and behind his head. Now we have a whole different dance. We have a restriction. Then that's when the hold occurs.
We have an end zone shot of this too.
We have a drone shot of this.
Drone shot of this.
It's going to come up here real quick.
You ready? Or you want to look at this again?
No.
Let the drone.
Let's look. So on the right side, we're going to look at these players here. So we're dancing. So remember, we want to call the holding, unlike the first play where the running back went up inside. Now we have the running back going outside. That sprung that running back. So we have to have a higher level of scrutiny when we're looking at the holding on the outside.
Can we back up real quick to the snap? I want you guys to watch this tight end. As soon as the ball snaps, where does his hands go? They go immediately to the outside of the frame of that body. That's a huge indicator for us to really got to be paying attention, because as soon as the ball snaps, he's outside the frame. Now, if he was able to work his hands back inside, that'd be a different story. But he starts outside and stays outside.
And see how the heads are different now? They're facing together now. His head's behind him. As soon as that occurs, that's where the flag came out. And remember, guys, on a holding play, we always want to make sure we mark that flag in a good spot, too.
So let's talk about, if you throw your flag and it's not in a good spot, what's the best way to, what do we do in that situation?
So report it. So the first thing we want to do is, you have a flag. The official knows he has a flag now.
Oops, sorry.
So the first thing you want to do is check your flag, guys.
So if it's not, say the hold happens here at the B45, but the hold, well, let's look at this play. So the hold is happening at the 45, right?
Right there, at about the 40.
Okay.
I'm going to inject something here, because I think, our rule in high school level, Terrence, we don't go back to the line of scrimmage by rule. And so when a foul, although in this case it's beyond the line of scrimmage, I like to think in terms of where did the hold start, not necessarily where it finished.
Okay, and I agree with that.
So I like to be where we started this. So the 45, I think, is a good mark. Let's see if this wing official got close with the flag.
Okay.
No, from the 41. So now I think your question is, what do we do with that misplaced flag?
So before you go report to the referee, let's make sure our flag is in the spot we want it to be.
So you just physically go pick it up and move it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, just go pick it up.
No hesitation, no shame or anything.
No.
Just tick your flag up and move it back to the 45, let's say.
Now, you've probably all heard me say, don't ever kick that flag.
No.
That's a bad idea. So you go back, pick it up, take a look at the line of scrimmage where it is, kind of have a relative sense before you go report.
Correct.
Good.
So let's look at the line of scrimmage real quick here. So we're killing the clock from the referee standpoint. I'm just watching. Just let it all play out.
Okay.
Keep playing it.
So we got the hold. He's trailing the play. Kill the clock. Okay, I'm good.
So we got some players in the sideline.
Yep.
I think the wing did a great job staying with that play. I think that's a tough situation for our officials. Is you got a flag down, you're hoping to get a number, and all of a sudden we got colors in the bench area. Maybe we got to clean all that up.
Yeah, if you look at the top of the screen, you see the back judge coming in now too. You see his feet right there.
And the umpire's coming in too.
Yep.
I think everybody closes down.
I think that was a good DBO officiating. So we said pick up your flag, but let's not worry about the flag's not going to move. It's going to move when you go pick it up.
So let me ask you another question: does the referee need to be moving on this play as he's doing, or can he just stop and kind of just pivot, and then once the play's over, come close down? So, is there? You're not following the quarterback on this play, right?
Let's play it back here.
So we see the handoff, right? Are you able just to kind of stay stationary and look at all that?
Right
action?
there probably would be good. But there's players going into the bench area.
I think we typically say when you got players going into the bench, the referee and the back judge are closing into that to a point where, in this case, they obviously weren't mixing up colors, but yeah, if we've got some attention right there, I think this actually looks good position all around. All right, I'm going to jump to the next one. And make sure we pay attention to time. What do we have here? We're going to have...
In the deep corner, up at the towards the top.
Looks like there's a comment about headlinesman with hands on knees. We want to stay upright if you're on the wing. Holy call at about the 1 yard line. Did it influence the play? Good to discuss. Take a look. All right, so we're gonna run the ball to the top of the screen. You can see the hold, possible hold right up there at the top. You can see the flag comes out. And so for discussion, the question is:
Did we have bad body behavior here? Is the first question.
There is no doubt we've got a hold. The question is, do we want this one called? I think this is close enough to the point of attack. I think we got a good flag here. Anybody disagree? I think I like this flag coming out, even though it is in front of the runner. It is a definite hold. There's no coach out there that's going to say, no, he didn't hold him.
I do have to go back now. I see what they mean. Do we all see now his hands on his knees? No.
Oh, did we?
Right there,
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, we don't want hands on the knees.
It looks like he's ready to go to the bathroom. We don't want to have that look at all.
No.
It looks like we're looking for something.
Just stay upright. Stay tall. Stay smooth.
And what do you think of Terrence about throwing the flag in there versus on the parallel line? Does that make sense to you? So he's kind of tossing the flag into those players.
I would like. This is what I'll say, and we got to wrap this up because halftime is over now. But I always say, throw my flag in a quiet area.
Throw my flag in a quiet area.
I don't want to throw it towards players or anything, so just find a quiet area to throw your flag. I mean, yeah, the hold happens there, but you could just drop the flag. I mean, hell, right in front of you. You don't need to throw it right in the pile. And I think we all have a tendency to do that. So I always just say, just throw it in a quiet area. And with that said,
I got to have one more.
okay.
All right, one more.
We're going into overtime. Sorry, this is it. So here's one out in the middle of everything. And there's some debate on this hold right here, 21. We had a little debate in-house here. Is this big enough? And I said it is. I think right at this moment, I see a body position. I see bad body behavior right here on 21. That shoulder situation. Now, whether or not we're in a position to see this, that wing official on the near side might have a hard time seeing this shoulder being pulled down a little bit. We're probably going to get some help from the back judge. Great view from the back judge position. The umpire's probably got too much traffic to really see it. But I think this is an important call that we've got to make. When you're out here, and plus he kind of gets beat by position too, right? We talk about his feet are out of position. He gets beat, and therefore he cheats.
Correct.
And that's a critical play where we've got to catch these.
And it's a restriction.
Definitely.
Look how his body's leaning. And it's so that lean is as a result of the restriction.
We talk many times about if a player looks clumsy, looks uncoordinated, there's a pretty good indication that he was restricted and the foul had occurred. And if it's at the point of attack and it's one that is going to make the difference in the play, we got to get those called. So we're going to wrap it up there.
Yep.
Thank you for being with us.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank
See you
guys.
tomorrow. Take care.
Tomorrow, too, for Denver.
Oh yeah, tomorrow we're
For
in
Denver.
Denver. Officials will have some video to watch. So take care, guys. Thank you. Enjoy the Monday night game. Bye.